Okay, good morning. So I want to talk about um, there's so many synchronicities on this twin flame journey. There's so many synchronicities, and I was discussing, things that I start discussing in some of my videos. All of a sudden, I see that my twin flame is putting up very similar things that are talking about the same subject, but like in a different light. And some conversation that we've been having lately and that I've been having lately, an internal conversation, a conversation that I've probably brought up before, is like society and going into the new world and being leaders into the new world. So I was talking in a video the other day about how with this ascension and with the twin flames, because the twin flame journey is a spiritual awakening journey. So it's not only twin flames, it's twin flames. We just have a fast track to the spiritual awakening and the ascension. But I just show you where I'm at. I'm sitting here, and on the other side there's that pillar. I'm sitting here with Monsieur Rixie and Lady Lola. And so you can see that everything is polarizing. Everything is polarizing as we're rising. More and more and more people are waking up after this whole fiasco with Corona, and everybody's life was shaken up. All of a sudden, worldwide, around the world, there has been like a movement. Everybody got out of their comfort zone. All of a sudden, people were forced into if let alone, a lot of us like comfort. We don't want to feel a lot of pain. We do anything to avoid pain. And so when we have a comfortable life and we kind of got this balance figured out, we have this steady income, we have this house, and we take from here and we put to here, and everything seems to be pretty stable and maintainable, and we kind of have things kind of figured out, a way of at least being. We have a way of being and figured out. Then we don't want to move from it, because anything we move from it is scary. Even we even throw away our dreams that we've had for our whole lives, because we're afraid of change. We're afraid that if we let go of what we have, we're not gonna be able to manage. We're not gonna get something new. And something that I've learned in my life, because I've moved so many times in my life and started over, is that it always works its way out. No matter what, it always works its way out. As long as you're not in a hole dead, it's always working its way out. Even when you have little means or when you have a lot of means, it doesn't matter. It's always working its way out. And things are always working out for the best. And you always see it in hindsight, even if you don't understand it as you're going through it, because you have to go through it in order to understand it. You can't be above it before you go through it. You have to overcome your fears. Um, you have to live life. And then at the end, you're like, oh, now I get it. Now I get it. At the end of whatever accomplishment or whatever it was that you were going through, that many times we go through things and we're just like, you're at a loss. You have to kind of be at a loss in order to start something new. And I was thinking about this polarization. The old world is falling apart. The old world, the old way, because there's so many people that were jolted into having to make new decisions, having to make new lives, that all of a sudden they don't want to go back to their old life. They've grown out of it. It changed for them. They don't get satisfaction in this anymore. Um, and we want something new. We want all of a sudden we've started something new and we're not willing to go back. And all of a sudden, when we start waking up, we start seeing the absurdity in it. We're living your whole life for somebody else's agenda, or living your whole life to make somebody else for somebody else. Even if we're working at a big company and we got up to this certain place on the ladder, it's still not living our own life. It's still not fulfilling our mission or our dreams. It's fulfilling somebody else's dream. It's being a pawn in somebody else's game, even if we get satisfaction throughout. And it's built that way as humans, psychologically. It's actually built that way that we will get enough satisfaction to hold us in that place. We'll make just enough money for it to be enough to where we have a way of making means, so that we're not so that there's something that we don't want to lose out on, or that we can find little joys, work all year and then go for a week vacation, instead of being. So I feel like everything is polarizing. So now people are waking up, and people are wanting realizing that there's a lot more to life than what has been. And the old systems are falling apart. You can see this all over the world. There's wars, and you can see it's almost like polarizing between evil and good. I know that that's kind of it's gonna wake up a lot of people's like, oh, people are gonna have like a be put off by that, but it does feel like that. It feels like there is a mass awakening, and the old ways of thinking are feeling like they're losing grip. So the more they feel like they're losing grip, the more they're trying to tighten the grip, which makes the people that are waking up want to get further and further away from it. Um, and you can see this all over the world with the wars that are happening. There's the politics. You can see it. It's just everywhere. Um, the grasping, trying to hold on to the old ways, trying to control the masses. You can see more and more control tactics. You can't do anything anymore. Where I live, you can't do anything anymore without the big brother knowing what you're doing. And I know that it kind of sounds far out there, but if you really think about it, it's the old world trying to hold on to you, trying to get their clutches further in, trying to control the masses, and causing all sorts of things that, if you, when you're out, when how am I going to put this? Whether you are for the system or you're against the system, if you're rallying for the system or you're rallying against the system, you're there. It's the two sides of the same thing. You're giving power to the system. As long as you're up and against the system, you're still in the system. If you're still playing the system's game, by being on any side of it, by being in the opposition of it or by being for it, you're still playing the game. Where when you're not playing the game is this. You're just doing your own thing. And each of us, if I often think that if everybody would just rise up and just like lay all everything down. And I know that change is a shift. Change is something that happens gradually. A spiritual awakening, it has to happen gradually. See, that's not necessarily 100% true, because there are spiritual awakenings that happen like that. But spiritual awakenings, for real change, it's like a shifting. It's it typically doesn't happen all at once, because you slowly have to let go of your beliefs. I'm trying to zip up my bag while I'm doing this because I want to get going. My sons are home, and I want to spend some time with my son, because later I'm going to go down to the beach. So I want to go home. Maybe I'll make pancakes. Pancakes are always fun for kids. Kids love pancakes. And it makes them feel like Saturday mornings is fun pancake time. It's probably about 9:15 right now. I've been out here on the mountain for a couple of hours. Maybe not a couple of hours. But so there's really a polarization going on, and it's almost like in biblical times when they were talking about the wars of light and dark, and when the light starts coming together, and then the dark starts coming together. When things start polarizing, they polarize on both ends. So as people are waking up and as people are coming into their higher being and wanting more and cutting loose from the masses, coming loose from the masses and starting to, have realizations and starting to connect to spirit and starting to connect back to the earth and not wanting the old ways anymore, wanting to come, like my twin called it, the plastic dynasty. That the plastic dynasty is falling. All this fakiness, all this running around trying to satisfy some kind of illusion. We're taught so far out of our nature. I'll show you where it's like, that's where I'm hiking to. I'm hiking along this ridge. It's a bluff up above me. And so we're starting to break away from the consensus of how humans are supposed to be, because we're so far out of whack with nature. We're so far disconnected. I mean, just looking at how far disconnected we are from if we walk around without shoes on, you would understand how aware you become of your surroundings. When we have shoes, it's like an elephant in a china shop, which are tuk, tuk, tuk. You don't pay attention really to where you're stepping. You don't pay attention to your feet, and you don't pay attention to your surroundings. And besides, you're disconnected from the ground. You're disconnected from the earth. We take our children. Children naturally want, you can see in the animals that animals naturally know what to do in order and for their progression. The parents teach the children. The children, learn through play. And when you see humans, the natural way of humans wanting to be when they're children is to play. They want to play. They That is the nature's way of children being able to learn. They play. And we take our children from 6 years old, and I have this sticker that's just like stuck in my dress, trying to figure out, there, I got it. And we take children from when they are 6 years old, and we sit them down on a chair. And if they can't concentrate because they want to play by nature, then we give them pills that make them like zombies. And not only do we give them pills that make them like zombies, we tell them that something is not okay with them, so they have to take medicine because there's something wrong with them. Even if we're not telling them in words that there's something wrong with them, but any kid that has to take medicine and you tell them they have a disorder, you have a attention deficit. What? Take children that are naturally born perfect, that want to play by nature because they're an animal. We are animals. We're the human animal, right? When you look in nature, you see that all of the children play. You look at the lions, and you have the little lions out there running around after the parent, imitating the parent and playing with each other. And that's how they learn, through play. And by nature, children want to play. They want to be active. We teach them how to be couch potatoes. We take and we sit them in a classroom from when they're 6, from when they have all of this energy that they want to spend. And if they can't sit with their butt on the seat, and I know I was one that couldn't sit with my butt in the seat. I always was looking out the window. I don't think that school ever really schooling, we also moved around a lot, but school never brought me to my full potential. And I don't think that school ever was able to bring out my specific talents. I was always, I didn't get good grades. And that gave me a lot of psychological problems, thinking that first of all, I could see that all the people that, a lot of times I could see that I was far more intelligent than most of the people around me, far more connected. I always felt like everybody was just, I don't know, disconnected, like that I was connected with nature and they weren't, and I always felt that. But I was also raised like in the forest, and kind of I was blessed with that, really. And so so and in school, nothing ever, the grades that I got didn't represent really who I was, and a lot of times I couldn't even do the schoolwork. It was so boring to me. I couldn't even sit down and remember what they were teaching. It was just like, yeah, it felt like I had to memorize these things that weren't important to me, that I didn't care about, and then I needed to get a good grade in it, and then when I didn't have good grades, so I felt like a failure. Like, what's wrong with me? I can't remember all of these things. Now I look at it completely different. I look at the school system as, yeah, it's like trying to make mainstream factory workers, and that's actually what school systems came up to be. See, I'm talking about this. I did not know that I was going to talk about this when I started this video. I thought I was going to be talking about polarizations, more like the polarizations that are going on, and how society, the wars between, I didn't even want to call it war, because I'm not going to be fighting anybody. I guess if it comes down to it, fighting for my freedom, that's something that, you know, or for my right to believe what I want and say what I want, that's for sure. That's part of leading into this new world. Oh, that's what I was talking about, leading into the new world. There's so many people waking up and realizing the things that I'm talking about, and understanding them. And especially people on the twin flame journey, we're kind of thrown into this. And we are the leaders because we can see this. And leaders, it's not something that, you have to go out and do. You just have to be. You just have to be. And come into yourself. And that in itself is evident. That in itself will bring peace to others, because I see that when we are in our whole, when we are connected to ourselves and we're connected to nature, the vibration that we emit, we're like beacons. We intake, but we also output. And when we are in our highest vibration, or in our high vibration, we are vibrating out. This is a conversation. Oh, this is coming back to a conversation that I've been having in Messenger with a new girlfriend that we connected through these videos, and she contacted me, and we've been kind of messaging back and forth. And she comments on some of my videos, like when something touches her, she'll like voice message me and tell me. And it's really interesting to hear how the things because I can see that the things that I say, like they inspire her into her own thoughts, and I can see the evolution of it. Because once you know something, it's yours. It's like, once if I give out information and somebody learns from it, it becomes theirs. It becomes their knowledge. And then I could see how she took it, and how she interpreted it, and how it came into her life and affected her life in different ways, and then evolved into something that is, something that or in different places. I can see how it evolved into her own thoughts, and the ways that it touched her, which, when I was speaking about it in the ways that it touched me. So it's like being able to see something go and catch life somewhere else, and took a whole different route in her life. The things that I was talking about initially, that touched me in a different way, maybe not in a different way, but maybe it took it and added onto it, and gave her like a base for all of this continuation of the thought, and how the thought was evolving. It was we were talking about the video that I did about addictions, and how it touched her in her life, and on what it was touching on her life. So that was really interesting. So I kind of lost my train of thought here. And when I turn on these videos, I go all over the place. But there's so many thoughts that are going through my mind, and I still feel like I didn't touch enough on that polarization thing. I still feel like there's a lot left unsaid. about it, because I feel like right now we are in the times of salvation. We are in the times, the Bible times. Like it, I know it's like no, 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 no. It's really funky and strange. It's even stranger to me that I'm talking about it, because I've always been kind of offish. Anything that had to do with religion or God, or that I've been kind of offish about. But my in this spiritual awakening, all of a sudden I'm seeing, I'm seeing God, but I'm seeing it in such a different way than mainstream, than the way I see it as something that is just absolutely divine, and that I am part of it, and I can understand it and comprehend it, and I just see it. I see it all around me. And once you see it, once you have a knowing, you can't unknow it. Once you realize something, unless you purposely put yourself back to sleep, you can't unknow it. And if you are an evolving creature and you want to expand, and you're curious, and you don't want to be asleep, and you want to experience life to its fullest, and make your life experience the best life experience that you can, which most of us do. Most of us want to have an exceptional life experience and live a good, full, um, meaningful life. Find meaning in life, and I think I think that is also something that many people now are looking for meaning. Are waking up and all of a sudden, wait a minute, what I've been doing till now, getting up in the morning and going to this 9 to 5, where's the meaning in it? What's my purpose? And you can watch a video that I did about what is your destiny and purpose. And I talk about that there, so I'm not going to get into it. But so you can go and look for that. What is my destiny and purpose? Like how to find your destiny and purpose. So people are waking up, and they're like, wait a minute, what am I doing? What is my purpose? What, feeling empty all of a sudden people are shaken out of their safety zones. And once they're out of their safety zone, they're already out there on the limb. So why not make life as great as it can be? And I really do feel like we are in the time of salvation, in the time of and maybe that isn't it. I don't even know. It's like the coming of this. You know how they speak of the Messiah. This is the time. The Messiah is here, and I think that every generation, I think that there were always opportunities for the Messiah to be here, but because of, I think that in every generation there were probably, in potential, because the Christ energy is actually that. It's a Christ consciousness. It's a Christ. What is the consciousness? It's a Christ energy. It's an energy that flows all around us. But as long as society and mankind is at a place of, that is sustainable or comfortable for the masses, or extremely uncomfortable for the, in survival mode, or there has to be something that happens in worldwide that makes people start believing and understanding and wanting. There has to be a polarization like there is now. Polarization is the light coming together with light, and it's. And when you look at it in nature, you can just see how it all makes sense. There is, even like scientifically, if you want to look at it scientifically, because everything follows the same patterns. I feel like I talked a lot, and now on my continuation, I have to go into the sun. So I'm going to get out my sun hat, and then I'm just going to hightail it to the car. So I'm going to go ahead and end this here. So thank you for watching, and when I feel like I have something more solid, I feel like a lot of times that my videos are kind of all over the place, but that's just the way that it comes out a lot of times, with one thing leads to another. So I will continue on my hike, and if I have something more to say, I'm sure I'll make another video. Okay, so thank you for watching. I'm sending you lots and lots of love, and next time.